All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Monday. We got October 23rd NBA action to jump into today. 8 games on the slate. We go through each and every game. I give you my lean. I give you what I'm thinking, where my head's at about the game. But make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment for any final plays. Guys, I can't stress that enough. Everything I talk about in the game is what I feel strongly about and what I think is worth saying in the video, but all my final plays, what I'm actually rolling with, will be in that pinned comment. So make sure you guys go check that out. If we add anything in or any player props or anything like that, keep an eye on the pinned comment. We got 8 games to jump into today, and I'm super excited to do that because we're starting to get a little momentum here. Very excited for it. But before we get into it, guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about Sportsline here. Sportsline, one of the best places to start your sports betting research. They simulate each and every game, not just for NBA, but NFL, MLB, NHL, college football. They simulate each and every game 10,000 times, so you can start your sports betting research off on the right foot with some computer data driven information. They give you a projected score. They have Vegas experts on the site that give their plays and grade their plays A, B, or C based on confidence level. They also have box score projections. Did I say that right? Box score projections for DFS players or player prop fanatics, all that good stuff. Head over to Sportsline, guys. Use the link in the description. You can get 3 months of Sportsline for $4.99. It's usually a $25 package. Sportsline's being generous to the Guy Boston community. $4.99 with the link in the description. Just use the promo code that pops up on the screen. But that's enough of that, guys. I can't stress enough how important it is for you guys to at least go try Sportsline. It definitely helps me out on a day-to-day basis. But let's jump into this slate. First game on the board, we have the Indiana Pacers taking on the Philadelphia 76ers here. Philly, 11.5-point favorites at home. 0-3 on the year, 0-3 against the spread, not playing too well. Indiana 1-2 straight up, 1-2 against the spread as well. The total is also 227 in this one here. I hate to do it, but I'm going to lean Philly. I think that at some point they're going to have to bounce back. They're 0-3 against the spread, and in the last 5 games, they're 0-5 against the spread. 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games. They are a very good team. They have the talent. Joel Embiid just needs a game where he goes balls to the wall and, you know, takes over a game. And I don't think Indiana's going to be a team that can stop them. No Miles Turner, no Daniel Tice, or Daniel Tice is questionable. I think that Philly finally breaks away at some point, and this may be the spot here after catching that bad L, what was it, a couple nights ago to San Antonio, losing by almost double digits to a team they were 13.5-point favorites. I think they come back with a little bit of vengeance. They're at home here. I lean Philly minus 11.5 in this one. The total I'm not really looking at. Still a little early for the total. I know someone in the comments the other day, was actually a football video, was calling me the under king, and I was like, you know what, king of the unders? I like that. We went and made merch right away because the comment was like, oh, you pick more unders than anyone else on YouTube. I like that. And I was like, well, I didn't know that I did that. But yeah, don't fear the under. I say that in so many videos. So now we got some under king merch. Hey, whatever. But guys, let's move on to the second game here. We got Orlando, who's 0-3, 1-1 against the spread. New York at home here, 7.5-point favorites against them. They are 1-1 straight up and 2-0 against the spread. This Knicks team has looked good at times, so has this Magic team. They have a couple guys that look pretty good, but I do think that the Knicks have the upper hand here. 7.5 points is a decent amount to ask. I might keep an eye on this line, and if it gets to 6.5, I don't know how it would, but if it does, I think I might pull the trigger there. I think that this Knicks team matches up really, really well with the Magic, and I think that they actually can pull this one out, probably by double digits, but the Magic have kept games close this season. Closer than people thought against Atlanta. Detroit, for sure, they kept that game close. That's not that impressive. And then the Celtics a couple nights ago definitely kept that one close. Obviously, being a huge Celtics fan, watched that game, and they covered against the Celtics there. So I do think that this Magic team sticks in games, but at some point they have to get out-muscled and outplayed, and I think that this might be the spot. So I'm going to lean another home favorite here. New York minus 7.5. The total is 219. I think that this one goes over the total. I don't know if it becomes a final play, but I can see this game being like a 115 to 115 type game. Strictly speaking, because I think that this game could be very similar to the Detroit New York game that just happened, I think, on the 21st, and that was a 130 to 106 finish, a 236 total. So I do look at the over in this one, but keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if that becomes a final play. All right, we got Miami 3.5-point favorites hosting the Toronto Raptors here. Miami 1-2 on the season, have not covered yet. 0-3 against the spread. Toronto is 2-1 against the spread, only 1-2 straight up. The total is 217.5. This Toronto team, I've seen a lot of the public money, or the public and money on Toronto here, but I think that Miami makes a little bit of a homestand in this one. Otto Porter Jr. is questionable for Toronto. Chris Boucher is questionable, and Scotty Barnes, who got injured last game, is also questionable for Toronto. Miami, Oladipo is questionable, so those are the only notable injuries there. Some major ones to keep an eye on, but I do like Miami here, -3.5. I'm going to keep an eye on this line because I do think that money is coming in on Toronto, and we could see a different number here by game time. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and we're probably going to lean Miami -3.5, but that might be able to get down to 3, maybe 2.5. We'll see, but keep an eye on the pinned comment because that has a strong chance to be a final play. I do like Miami covering their first game of the year here. All right, next up, we got the Chicago Bulls taking on my Boston Celtics. Obviously, you guys can see with the stuff in the background of my hat, I'm a huge Celtics fan here. Celtics 2-1 against the spread, 3-0 straight up. The Bulls 1-2 straight up, 1-1 against the spread. They did have that pretty impressive win against Miami opening night, but since then, they have not totally looked like themselves. Zach LaVine looks like he is a go. Obviously, Lonzo Ball still out. For the Celtics, we have Al Horford, who's questionable with a back injury here. If Al Horford's out, that's going to be a huge blow for the Celtics. I'm actually looking at the over in this game, 222.5. I don't necessarily love laying the points on the road with the Celtics. They look really good to start the year, 3-0, but at some point they have to take a step back. I know that they're one of the best teams in the league, possibly, you know, the best team in the East right now. But I don't know if I could see them going 4-0, 3-1 against the spread and having this terrific start. I think the Bulls match up fairly well against them and can make this one difficult. So not that I don't think the Celtics are going to win. I just don't love having to win by 5 points. 2 out of the last 3 times that these two teams played, it was pretty close as well, only being the last one, which was last season when the Celtics really took it to the Bulls. But yeah, I'm going to stick away from the spread in this game, and then but like I said, I'm going to look at the over in this one. I don't think Chicago's defense is all that great. They're more than capable of scoring 115 points. The Celtics have already scored over 125 twice this season. Their lowest scoring output has been 111, and the Celtics have an amazing defense, right? Yeah, they do have an amazing defense, but they've let up 117, 104, and 120 this season. So I think that total could be a value play there. Guys, before we get into the rest of the video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the ride of the day. In each video, we're going in the comments and picking a ride of the day, guys. All you have to use is hashtag ride of the day and give me a lock in the comments. Yesterday, we had Jamal coming in with hashtag ride of the day, Donovan Mitchell, PRA, over 37.5. And it cashes. Pumping some crowd noise for Jamal. Maybe overtime helped Jamal out in this one, but nonetheless, he cashes for us. Guys, again, the ride of the day, all you have to use is hashtag ride of the day. And I'm jumping on board with someone's research and pick in the comments and giving you guys a shout out, win or loss. You get the crowd noise if you win like Jamal, but if you lose, you do get the womp bump. Use hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Also, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're grinding here. Like the video, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 12,000 subscribers, and I'm very, very excited for a giveaway once we get there. All right, let's get back on track here. Nets taking on the Grizzlies. Nets, 1.5 underdogs here as they travel to Memphis. 228 is the total. Memphis looks decent this season. 2-1 to start, but 0-2-1 against the spread. They ever yet to cover a game. Brooklyn 1-1 both straight up and against the spread. In terms of injuries, Seth Curry is still questionable, and then a lot of injuries to note for Memphis. Danny Green, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, and Zaire Williams all questionable for this game against Brooklyn. Regardless of even the injuries, I kind of think Brooklyn comes out of their shell a little bit here. I'm going to lean Brooklyn plus the points in this one. Memphis has beat them 3 times in a row. It actually might have been 4 times in a row when I do my research, but I can't remember the last time when looking back at these two teams' game log. It might even extend past 4, but Memphis has had Brooklyn's number. I think that for whatever reason, Brooklyn bounces back in this one. Memphis, again, having a tough time covering this season. It's only a 1.5, so I don't give it too much credence in this one. But I do like Brooklyn sort of, coming out of their shell and having some of their superstars possibly have a takeover game. So I lean Brooklyn plus 1.5 in this one. Total, I actually look at the under. It's 228. These are two teams that can obviously score. The Rock, Memphis, one of the faster moving teams this season, but they only had 96 points last game against Dallas. So if a team can slow them down like the Brooklyn Nets may be able to, if it gets into like a, half court type of game where you have Kyrie, KD, maybe Ben Simmons sort of operating offense and slowing things down, I think that this game could hit that under at 228. So I'm going to look at that, but I do like Brooklyn plus 1.5 as my main lean in this game. Keep an eye, what do I say, on the damn pin comment for any final plays. All right, moving on to San Antonio, traveling to Minnesota here. Minnesota minus 10 points. They are playing currently, so this is not an updated record. Also, a couple of the games that may still be going on. We're recording this late on Sunday night, as we do have an early start tomorrow. But as the time of recording, Minnesota 1-1, 0-2 against the spread. San Antonio having a pretty decent season thus far, 2-1, both straight up and against the spread. But I think Minnesota looks to take this one. As of right now, Minnesota is beating OKC by their projected score with only a few minutes left in the fourth. So we can safe to assume, I don't want to assume, but safe to assume our Minnesota play from yesterday does end up hitting, and they end up moving to 2-1 straight up and 1-2 against the spread. I think they carry that momentum here at home against San Antonio. In terms of injuries, none to report from San Antonio. In Minnesota, looks like Kyle Anderson could be out with a back. We'll keep an eye on that. Totals 230.5. I like the under in this one. King of the unders. I like the under in this one. Minnesota coming off a back-to-back here. And San Antonio, as they've had a decent season, I've already admitted that multiple times, kind of surprising people. I don't necessarily think they keep up the track record of scoring 130 points like they did against Indiana. But that went into overtime, I believe. Then they dropped 115, I think, against Philly. So I don't think that they necessarily keep that up. I think Minnesota can kind of constrain them a little bit. So I'm going to look at Minnesota minus 10. Hate that it's a double-digit spread. We probably don't make that a final play. We're also going to peek at the under. Houston taking on the Jazz here. Jazz end up taking an OT win against the Pelicans yesterday, 122-121. And this Jazz team is surprising people, like you read about, 3-0 and 3-0 against the spread. I don't think the Jazz can keep it up. I said it in yesterday's video. But hell, who am I to say? So I'm just going to look at the over or the under in this one at 232. That's probably the only potential final play. You got a couple bottom of the barrel teams here. Even though the Jazz are sitting atop that conference with their record, I think that this is a game that could get a little ugly. The fact that the total is at 232 right now, and I think it's at 232.5 at some places, I'm going to look at the under, but I might be staying away from this game, and I'm probably, probably staying away from this game, being honest. Next up is one of my favorite plays of the night here. We have the Portland Trailblazers, who also 3-0 straight up, also 3-0 against the spread. Very, very surprising to me here. Playing Denver, who is only giving up 4 points. Denver coming off a win to the Warriors. And a win against OKC, 2 wins in a row. They did lose to the team we just talked about, Utah, opening night. But I think that Denver gets this game done. They haven't really blown the top off of a game yet and utilized their talent. I think Portland could be a good spot. Portland is absolutely feeling themselves right now after getting that win against the Lakers and absolutely, shocking the world with their undefeated record so far. So I think Denver comes in here and says, you know what? Let's unload, let's unleash. No one's unleashing up here, okay? Unload and unleash, and let's take this win. So I like Denver minus 4. I'm not really looking at the total in this one at 229.5, but that is all I have for you guys today. Go ahead and make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. We got the live count here to my left. We're almost at 12,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough. In fact, you know what? Pumping some crowd noise for the subscribers, guys. Cannot thank you guys enough. Catch you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out.